diamond ring, a pencil lead, and a plastic water bottle. What do these three items have in common? Well, while they look very different, they're all made up of a form of carbon. And this versatile element affects and impacts every aspect of our everyday lives, and it also impacts our environment as well as our future. A lot of attention has been given lately in the media to reducing our carbon footprint. Do you know what your carbon footprint is? My name is Hillary Vaughn, and I've calculated my carbon footprint to be 20 tons of carbon dioxide per year. Today I want to encourage you to find out what your carbon footprint is, and I'm going to show you 3 easy ways that you can reduce your carbon imprint and have a positive impact on the environment. Let's first of all define what a carbon footprint is. The Time for Change organization defines a carbon footprint as the total amount of greenhouse gases produced to directly and indirectly support human activities. It's typically expressed in terms of tons of carbon dioxide. Now, what does that mean for you and I? Well, everything we do in our life, whether it's breathing or eating or driving a car, results in a chemical reaction in which carbon dioxide is released into the Earth's atmosphere. These CO2 emissions, as they're called, are typically regulated by nature. We have checks and balances in place to ensure that what's going out is replaced by what's coming in. After the Industrial Revolution, however, carbon dioxide emissions began to increase to such a point that natural regulation was no longer effective at maintaining those levels. Greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and ozone, stay in the Earth's atmosphere for 80 years. This is a long-term issue. It contributes to global warming and to climate change. Now, our carbon footprint can be divided up into 2 categories. Our primary footprint makes up 46% of our overall footprint, and it's a direct result of things like burning fossil fuels when we drive a car, or the energy that's used to heat or cool our homes. Our secondary footprint makes up 54% of our overall footprint, and this is a result of the indirect things that we buy, clothes or food, where they're manufactured, to how they are transported to us, and finally how they break down and we dispose of them. This contributes to our secondary footprint. Now, carbon dioxide emissions are measured over a period of time, usually 1 year, and the Nature Conservancy estimates that the average American will emit 27 tons of carbon dioxide per year as their carbon footprint. The exact amount will vary based on where you live as well as your specific habits. There are calculators available online at www.carbonfootprint.com where you can go and enter in your personal data to get an exact amount of your carbon footprint. So, now that we know what a carbon footprint is, let's talk about what happens to the Earth when greenhouse gas emissions increase. According to the EPA, greenhouse gases trap heat and prevent cooling. This leads to global warming. Now, according to data from NASA, the Earth's average temperature has increased by 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit over the past 100 years. Now, if that doesn't sound significant to you, consider this. According to Architecture 2030, a world that is just 2 degrees Celsius warmer than today will have 30% less snow covering the Rocky Mountains. And there will be 60% less water in that snow. There will be no more polar bears, and coral reefs will begin to disappear. 2 studies suggest that 1/4 of all plant and animal species could become extinct by the year 2050. If carbon dioxide emissions continue at the rate they are today, the average temperature increase of the Earth will exceed 2 degrees Celsius by the year 2060. Now, some people are extreme when it comes to reducing their carbon footprint, and I'm not advocating going without electricity or only bathing once a month. I want to show you 3 easy steps you can take today to immediately have a positive impact on the Earth's environment. First, switch to CFL, or compact fluorescent light bulbs. Replacing just one incandescent light bulb with a CFL will reduce your carbon footprint by 660 pounds per year. They do cost a little bit more than incandescent bulbs. They run anywhere between $4 to $12, depending upon what type you get and where you purchase it at. However, they will last much longer. 4 months for an incandescent bulb versus 5 years for a CFL bulb. And you can save $4 per year per bulb that you replace on your power bill. Second, recycle aluminum, glass, plastic, paper, whatever your community allows. If you recycle just one aluminum can, it will conserve as much energy as it takes to power a television for 1 hour. Third, avoid excess packaging, like water bottles. Use something reusable, which has a much lower carbon footprint. And unplug the appliances that you don't use often. Or better yet, unplug your appliances before bedtime. You'll save money on your power bill, and you'll also reduce your carbon footprint. Now, let's imagine what our Earth may look like in 20, 30, or 40 years based on the decisions that we make today. If we continue to use resources without offsetting the cost to replace them, our world may not survive. But if we make responsible decisions, offset the cost of our resources, our world will continue to be suitable for inhabitation. The decision is in your hands. Which outcome do you want? Because I feel strongly about this, and because change is hardest to make when you take the first step, I've taken some of the hardness out of it. And I'm going to give each of you a CFL light bulb to get you started reducing your carbon footprint. Use these CFL light bulbs and reduce your carbon footprint from this to this. Thank you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.